Shares in Asian drug makers are lower this morning after President Trump said he planned to slash US prescription drug costs. In a social media post, Trump said that he will sign an executive order today mandating that Americans pay no more than people in countries that have the lowest price. Let's get more now with Katya Dmitrieva. Katya, good morning. What more do we know?
Well, we know that this would be a very big policy indeed in the U.S. This is a key promise from President Trump during both election runs, in fact, in 2016, as well as his most recent campaign. And the idea of this, which, of course, we only know from his Truth Social post, so still a lot of questions, but what we do know so far is this would revive sort of a most favored nation approach to drug pricing. In other words, the U.S. or a U.S. consumer would be paying essentially the same as the lowest price available elsewhere, at least on the face of it. So you think about buying a vial of insulin in Turkey for a couple dollars, it should be the same price for American consumers. Now, a lot of questions as well about how this would apply alongside tariffs. There were pharmaceutical tariffs announced recently that would, of course, potentially cause shortages and drive up prices. Also, how it would be implemented, because Republicans themselves are not very favorable to this. They don't really like the most favored nation approach, as well as pharmaceutical companies as well. As you mentioned there, a lot of pharma stocks reacting very negatively to this news.
Yeah, particularly already in the Asian session, the likes of the Japanese drug maker Chugai Pharmaceutical, Takeda Pharmaceutical as well, losing about 5% earlier on in trading. Katya, just talk us through which other stocks we ought to be watching. Of course, the European Open could feel a bit of this as well.
Yeah, of course. European stocks, pharmaceutical stocks in particular. We had in the Asian session, of course, some powers at play there, because there are some positive developments in the U.S.-China trade talks, which kind of gave a lift. But certainly European stocks, U.S. as well. When things get underway, Trump is supposed to be signing this, he said, Monday morning. So that's in a few hours when the U.S. wakes up. And we'll also be looking for more details, whether this would look like his previous most favored nation approach, whether it would apply to Medicare reimbursements, whether it would be narrow, for example, would only apply to things that were dispensed in doctors' offices or more broadly in hospitals. So still a lot of questions, but certainly we should be watching those pharma stocks.